except with weapons.
Well, I don't know. I mean, this is T4. Everything is about the railgun. I mean, with the longer spawn time. In fact, it's kind of weird that it's like the one weapon that has a longer spawn time. It's not like, you know, it got voted up to have like weapon respawn 15 or something like that. No, it's like only the railgun, only on this map. But there it is. Very nice shoddy blast. And it's going to be Jovire picking up 2-1 here. Now moving back across mid here, trying to cut off Vampire at yellow armor. Vampire nailing in quite a bit of damage with that plasma gun, and Jovire trying to fend himself off. He's got a full arsenal of weapons, but he's not switching away to rocket launcher quite yet at this point. Kind of wondering what he's up to at this point in time, actually. But stacking back up to 160. No yellow armors coming up yet, but there's a beautiful rail right across the way. Keeping the rail away from Vampire is going to be much to his benefit. He hasn't exactly been playing like he's been controlling it, but Vampire nonetheless has not been able to get his hands on it very often in the first place.
Yeah. Now, did you have any predictions for this matchup when we saw it unfold?
No, we didn't, but, you know, Zeal's been rocking a bit of a better record lately, and I think the fact that Vampire is here in 0-4's stead, kind of, it's got to be uncomfortable for him, because he's going to be that guy who didn't quite qualify to be there, but he's there anyway to round things out. He's not a bad player by any stretch of the term, but it's always awkward being that guy who's not quite supposed to be where he is. So I think Zeal would be the favorite here.
Now I'm sad. I was trying to not bring that up.
Oh.
Because I'm really, I mean, especially after you saw, you know, how 0-4 qualified.
Yeah, yeah. It was the making of an epic story, to be sure.
I mean, the night that he qualified, he swept it, and then
I will win this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, for the group stages, having the most epic comeback of the series so far.
Well, so far the epic comeback has been his boss going, "You will work this."
I know. But that being said, Jovire likes to fall near his death, which actually worked out to his advantage. Maybe. I don't think he planned that out. I think he just wanted a railgun, but you know, I suppose you could plan that out. If you've got less than 5 health, or I guess 9 health depending on the height, you're going to fall in Crater. You're going to fall later after your opponent. They're going to spawn the other side of the map, forcing you to spawn right near where you just died. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I don't imagine he would calculate that, though. Vampire using his railgun to a decent effect to get on the board twice. 6-2 is the score. Jovire, though, is still up by 4. Let's go take a look at Vamp, who's very weak here. Now, we've talked a little bit about a few of the other maps, but this one I think is quite important considering it's the first time we've seen it today. We probably have some people that are like, what the heck is Vertical Vengeance? Well, Vertical Vengeance, you have 2 yellow, oh my god, the rockets out of Vampire are insane. That is 6-4, folks. You have only 2 yellow armors and 1 mega health. The mega health respawns every 120 seconds, okay? And then as far as health is concerned, you only have a total of 150 health on the entire map. 100 of that health is those 25 healths in the center room that we just saw Vampire collect, Jovire collect some. Then there's a pair of 25 healths just below the plasma gun, which is on the opposite side of the map of where we are now. So that's your resource count for this map. As you can tell, it's very sparse, and you will never see enormous armor stacks on this map at all. And so, yeah, so it means that you know, you get some very fast-paced action. Players die very, very quickly.
And you get comebacks like this. Vampire currently up by a single frag. A little less than half, or rather a little more than half the map burned off at this point. Vampire eating a rail here from Jovire. Neither of them have really been utilizing it, and it's always interesting when you see the railgun take a backseat on this map to things like the shotgun and the rocket launcher. And in fact, it can be things about those traps in the mid that can really define the play here. And Vampire right now picking up a ton of armor. and making his way back through mid. We see Jovire up on top there, anticipating a move from Jovire. Vampire's gonna be spamming off a rocket, not quite getting the shot though. And he's trying to bait out Vampire at this point, trying to get him coming back in and trying to find him as well. But there he is right under the ledge. Vampire's gonna be springing the trap and turning her right back against Jovire. 8 on 6 now with 4 minutes left on the clock, and Vampire is actually looking like he might be able to pull this one away.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's still plenty of time. This being Vertical Vengeance, nothing is ever really sold and wrote. But I think Vamp is showing us that, yeah, he may have been the guy to, kind of sort of qualify to get here, but at least against Jovire, it's a pretty good matchup. Now, just so people aren't going totally crazy, I've gotten assurances from the admin at the event that Rafa the Hang will wait for us.
Good.
So,
Good.
If he lied to me, I'll be very mad.
Well,
but as of right now, we should be able to see an extra game of Quake. That's what it boils
Absolutely.
down to at the moment.
Yep. But a 3-frag lead here for Vampire, and it looks like he's been able to hold on to his stack very nicely, and in fact get back around Zeal and get in an extra bit of damage with that rail. So very, very nice play there. That's going to be keeping some distance between Jovire and Zeal. And actually, rails are going to be traded, but Vampire having the stack will be able to survive that just fine, pulling together another frag. And this is where we start to see momentum get picked up here by Vampire, potentially. We're going to be looking for him to, well, actually just use his stack to the best of his advantage. That plasma knocking off a significant portion of it, but with yellow armor coming back up here, Vampire will be able to shop around fairly easily now. Jovire, as we already saw there, attempting to just use the railgun and get back into mid in order to deny one side of the map to Vampire, but Vampire's own railgun accuracy, which is at this moment 55%, well now 53%, is able to hold on to that very, very nicely. Jovire, only 42% rail.
Yeah, but that difference in railgun, especially on Vertical Vengeance, I mean, this is reminding me of kind of the old school way it was played, where railguns really did serve the master purpose here. Nice little juke move by Jovire, bringing it within 5, able to get the shotgun kill against Vamp, who's now on the back foot with only a plasma gun, no armor.
That is actually one of my favorite things about T4, is that it actually brings the shotgun in as a top-tier weapon. I mean, how many maps have we seen turned back around by a bit of Dick Cheneying? But Jovire is able to pick up Mega Health and Yellow Armor at this point, and that is going to give him a pretty strong stat coming into this. He's down below. Vampire doesn't know where he's going to be coming out of, already anticipating a move through Teleporter, but Jovire delays that just a bit in order to get back up to the top of the map. This is going to be a good spot for him, as Vampire's going to be looking for a railgun, but he's going to find Jovire raining down on him instead. Jovire down to 14 health, but it being 12 to 8, this looks like Jovire might be able to bring this thing back to his own favor.
Indeed he might, although Vamp's going to shut him down very quickly with a beautiful set of shotgun shots. 13 to 8 now. Vamp holds on to the lead. We have no more Mega Healths in this game, as it is on a 2-minute timer. We got 1 minute left, so pretty much whatever stack these guys can muster, that's what they will have for the remainder. And I don't know, I mean, 5 frags, 40 seconds. And
Vampire's really slowing down the pace. I'm not quite sure about his positioning there. I mean, he's very low on weapons, and actually distance in this case is going to be to his disadvantage, as he has that shotgun, and he wasn't quite positioning himself to utilize it properly, but it's still a long way for him to go. I mean, he can slow spawn at this point.
Yeah, he'll be fine. So, Vamp,
nice.
Despite having to take 0-4's place, has won himself the first map in this LAN event, Intel Extreme Masters Season 5, American Championships. 3 frags will separate them, 14 to 11. The final score: 4 impressives for Vamp, 2 for Jovire.
And Zeal did qualify, remember, so any victory that Vampire gets here is a major boon to him. Major bonus points. But looks like we'll be moving into next map, and that is going to be T7 Furious Heights.
Yeah, again, those that are wondering, the Hang versus Rafa is waiting for us to get this over with. And I have an admin. That is at the event who will let me know if there's any change in that. and if that's the case, we'll switch right over to it. Because, I mean, especially if this goes one way, you know, we might leave it early if need be. We go live, though, right off the bat.
Yes,
Jahar,
sir.
take us.
Alrighty, we're going to be here on the Furious Heights. I'm going to be watching Vampire right off the bat here as he spawns red armor side of the map. He's going to be getting that grab and rocket launcher right off there. But as always, it comes down to the play for the second red. Vampire is going to be in good position for it. Is going to try to poke out to do a little bit of damage on the Mega side. But that leaves Jovire with the strong stack. That means that Vampire cannot really afford to lose out on this next play for red. And he takes a circuit around the map that's going to leave him maybe a second late. And I admired the rotation around the map there, but he was off on his timing just by a second, and that was enough for Jovire to take away that second red armor. This puts Vampire in a very weakened state for this next Mega health. Oh, and Jovire does the rocket jump in order to get it up, get it out, and get away. Vampire down to 61 health now. I'm surprised that he's still alive with this. Jovire has been able to do a ton of damage here, and Vampire is actually able to come back around for red armor. So a couple of mistakes here for both of these guys, and that is going to end up with 51 and 103 for Vampire, 44 after that rocket for Jovire.
Yeah, Vamp actually gets a little bit of Jovire's spam in his face as well. Has to stack up to, again, 83 and 100 armor now. But Mega will be his. Red should go to Jovire. Now, been watching Vamp at the start of this. We're going to hop over to Jovire's point of view as he is now down below trying to defend himself. You need to be very, very careful about this. Vamp takes a very interesting exit out of that room, and is he really waiting? Okay, no, he's not waiting. He went around underneath Mega and collected that yellow armor. So that's actually a pretty decent move there. Back in for the red, but he needs to be careful about the defensive rockets right here. 11 health. And he will be cut down by a lightning gun switch from Jovire. 1-0, Jovire's favor.
But we've seen Vampire make some comebacks here before. Maybe we can see something similar here. But as Jovire moves away from the water, it's going to be a play here for red armor. Jovire looking maybe a little unsure of where he wants to exactly position himself for it. Coming back into the room, Vampire is already going to be there in space, tossing off the rockets. 44 health left for Jovire as he makes his escape. Now that is going to be a difficult situation for Jovire to come back into the Mega room. And he's going to have to depend on some yellow armor if it's going to come up for him. 39 and 50 for him now. And Jovire has had to survive the past 30 seconds without any kind of real benefit to his own stack.
Yeah. Vamp dropping in, trying to get the drop on Jovire, and it pays off. He collects red and gets the rockets to connect to tie the game. And I know that the popping is getting worse, guys. It is back with a vengeance, unfortunately. We were forced to use Skype rather than Ventrilo, and it seems to have some issues.
I have a vent server we can use after this if you want to switch to that.
Yeah, that might be what we do.
Okay. But we're looking at 2-1 here. Vampire coming back into this thing, and he's been able to keep Jovire's weakness to his own advantage here, and Vampire's been able to take away a frag. 140, 180 for him right now with Mega Health coming back up. Will Jovire show up for an attack? Well, without a railgun, Jovire doesn't really have anything to bring to that fight. He's finally going to be able to pick one up, but by that time, Mega Health is already in the hands of Vampire, and Vampire is going to be setting up very nicely with a beautiful rail just on Jovire's exit in order to keep red armor in his possession and keep Jovire the hell away from it. Very strong play here for Vampire right now. Jovire is still on the run, but he's still looking like he's getting a little bit lost here, or if not lost, and indecisive about where he wants to be, and that is letting Vampire get all of these essentially free hits. Jovire is going to be fragging himself with his own grenade there, making it 3-0. And there's some nice damage finally from Jovire. Vampire is going to be taking a beating here and ending up getting late to red armor. The timing of that, of course, kind of preceded that, but this is the opening that Jovire has been looking for.
Yeah. So, actually, I have a favor, Jahar.
Yes.
I need you to disconnect and check to see if Tahang and Rafa are on a server, because I tried to say to Flame 8,000 times. Are they waiting for us? He's not responding. I just want to maybe hear from the players themselves. I don't want them to start without us.
They are both in the server.
Okay. Can you go ask them specifically if they're going to wait for us? Thank you. So yeah, guys, we want to make sure that we're able to bring you that as it's kind of the headlining match of this particular play day. Vamp still enjoying a 2-frag lead. And Jovire at this point trying to encroach in on Mega, coming up in about 3 seconds, has done his job.